I also have learned, and I think it's a strength for me, is to just have confidence in the knowledge that good things will happen. And you have to work at it. In my case, I had to get out there, I had to meet people, I had to do the networking, but you can only push to a certain extent. In fact, sometimes it's better to get out there, sow the seed, do the networking, and then just rest in the confidence of knowing that positive things will happen from positive actions. And Mark Twain sums it up very well by saying that travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness. And that's so true. When you get out there and you experience the world or experience your own region, and you get out there and you do the networking face to face and you meet people, you learn that people are people, and that's pretty powerful. Hello, my name is Andrea Murphy, and I am passionate about three things. One of them is most importantly my family. I'm also very passionate about travel, and the third thing that I'm most passionate about is the relationship between nutrition and performance in dairy cows. And if we want to look at the dairy cow side of things, nutrition is quite a very broad area. And the three things that I like to focus on in terms of how I like to help people with nutrition is not just production, although production is important, but also reproduction and body condition. Nutrition's a fascinating subject in my eyes, because you can make a small change, a little small change can affect the outcome almost immediately. And I think a lot of dairy farmers can identify with, for example, the cows go into a poor paddock, the scruffy paddock or whatever, and their milk test, they can see it immediately. So I mean, that's a really neat example of nutrition and the impact on the short term. But again, looking at I like to take a holistic approach, and how is the relationship between, is it a series of scruffy paddocks or a series of good paddocks can impact the bigger picture things like body condition, and how that can positively or negatively impact on reproduction. And those three things I think are really important, because anyone can make a cow produce a lot of milk. That's not a difficult thing to do. You can pour grain in front of them and they will milk, but they're not necessarily going to stay healthy, and they're not necessarily going to have good reproductive performance. So to my mind, it's important to incorporate the whole picture. And I feel very privileged in that I work with some fantastic people, some fantastic farmers, and that's what I love the most about my job. Is I guess I have a passion for the knowledge that I bring, and I like to share that with the people that I meet, and I like to learn from them. And I always say that when I'm working with clients, I say, well, theoretically and technically this is the way it's supposed to be, and the farmer will come and say, but practically that's impossible. But if you take the theoretical knowledge and the practical knowledge, they learn from me and I learn from them, and in the middle there's optimal performance, and I find that incredibly rewarding. It's fun to see the proof in the pudding. I came to New Zealand 6 years ago, and that was a real turning point for me, because that was a point in my life where I could have started new. Well, I did. I came to a new country. I could have cleared the slate and started from scratch. But one of the things that I realized in coming here and having the opportunity to start over and doing anything that I wanted to do, I wanted to continue to work in the dairy industry. But that was a pretty scary prospect. I was in a strange country. I had a strange accent. I didn't know anyone. And so I think the most important step that I made, and I continue to make, is to network. And well, what does networking mean? That's such a broad term as well. And for me, networking means getting out there. And We all have fears and we all have anxieties, and sometimes it's scary to go and knock on someone's door or turn up to a farmer group when you don't know anybody in the room. But I have forced myself to do that, and I continue to challenge myself and do that. And that to me is what networking is. Face-to-face, meeting people, learning from them. And sometimes when you learn from those other people through networking, you actually learn what value you do have and what value you can bring. One of the most important networking mediums for me has been the Network for Women in Dairying. That's been a fantastic way for me to meet other women, but also other people in the industry at large, and that has been a very valuable network and continues to be a very valuable network for me. This is a picture of the 2 rays of sunshine in my life. Nicholas, the older boy, Nicholas is 3 and Christopher is 1. And that's another really important learning that I've had in becoming a parent, is that we can do it. We can do it all. We can raise a family and have a career. And I think I feel very, very blessed to be working in an industry where I can turn up to see my client with my 3-month-old baby and no one bats an eye when I need to breastfeed him. And I think we're very privileged to be able to be living in a community that allows that for us. My husband Wayne is an orchardist in Earnscleugh, and that's why we live in an area where there aren't very many cows. But that's another important learning, that if you're passionate about something, it doesn't matter where you live. And I guess maybe that's my passion coupled with I have no trouble with travel. Just get in the car and go.